racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, and along with Drew Forster, we're going to go through the Friday night races, June 21st, 7:15, first post for our 7-race program. Hopefully, weatherman cooperates. I know it's not supposed to be so great, but still, so we got 7 good races.
Probably an off track, so you might want to factor that into your handicap this weekend. Trackers. It is the first day of summer, but might not feel like that. But still, always great crowd. A lot of fun on Friday nights. I love the Friday night racing. Should we hop right into it?
Let's go.
Let's get started.
You go. You can
sure.
Start her off.
Fillies and Mares, 5,000, going 3.5 to start off the Friday night card. I've gone to the 5 Cassidy Storm, likely to be a short price. Ran this distance twice and has won both of them. Then jumped up to 15 and 10 for fillies in the 3-0 filly division. Ran into Pineapple, always run on Sunday. This is against older mares, but she's quick. And I think good early foot speed. I like the post. Nice little bit of an outside draw. Cassidy Storm looks like kind of a single for me early on. The second spot I put Script This, the Willie Levana way runner. Another one that sets very quick fractions. She's a good post too under Antonio Reyes. Another one that can get out of there and for 3.5 furlongs, she's probably going to be right there, I'd say.
She'll be right up.
She'll be quick. And the third spot I put What's Up Betty, conditioned by Hall of Fame trainer Alan May under Scott Williams. She's another one that's shown a lot of speed here at Hastings. Has been getting a little tired in her races and haven't been finishing overly strong. The 3.5 furlong should suit her well. I got 5, 6, and 1, but I do really like the 5 Cassidy Storm.
Yeah, I see it the same way. I don't have a lot to add. The 5 is undefeated at this trip, 2 for 2. The 3.5 furlongs is what she wants to do, and
both by open lengths too. Yeah.
Yeah, she's comfortable at this trip, and it's not an easy trip for certain horses, and this horse likes it though. So I like the 5 Cassidy Storm over the 6 Script This. Goes in blinkers. This horse did wear blinkers before, but I noticed in a couple of her races, even though she was making the lead in them, she wasn't super quick away from there. It was the only reason I didn't put her on top, but maybe with the blinkers on, she'll be a little faster away from there. We'll see. And I put What's Up Betty in for third. She has won at the trip in Alberta. Got to go way back, but this horse did win going 3.5 furlongs, coming from a little off the pace, and I think she'll have to do that again if she's going to win. She's not quite fast enough. I don't think to go with the outside.
Maybe if the outside 2 go, she might be able to run them down.
I went 5, 6, and 1 in the Friday night opener. On to the second race. Got some 17.5 condition claimers here, going a mile and 16th. Got a 5-pack signed on here. I've gone to the 3 Titled Nobility. He got away at a big price and defeated them all sprinting last time, and he's still eligible for the condition as he is a BC bred. This is a non-2, non-3 BC bred, so he's come back with a slowish work, but he's run well going along in the past, or at least reasonably well on the turf, going around a couple of turns. So I think he gets a good trip sitting off of the speedy number 1, Timeless Storm. I think Timeless Storm gets the lead in here, and I think Titled Nobility sits a perfect trip just in behind him. Put Game 7 in for second. I think he's live, a little less traffic in here. He seems to be getting himself a little too far back in his races, but hopefully today he'll be a little bit closer. And I put Timeless Storm, whose best races were going long last year. Yeah. And this horse did get shuffled back. I mean, it looks like the horse had no speed, but this horse was up near the leaders for the opening 16th of a mile, and just kind of got shuffled back. That's why this horse doesn't show a little bit more, anything better in that first column, the opening quarter. So this horse will be your speed. I went 3, 4, and 1.
I got the same horses. I did put Titled Nobility on top, coming off a win in the short version of this race. Yeah. The distance is definitely not going to hurt him. It's to his advantage. I kept Timeless Storm in the second spot though, thinking that he is going to be the speed. I could see Titled Nobility running him down, but I think he'll be able to hang on for second, and Game 7 in for third. I see those as your 3 horses in this race. I got 3, 1, and 4. On to the third. 3-year-olds and up, 5,000 non-winners of 2 on the year, going 3.5 furlongs, another 3.5.
Friday night specials.
And I'm going to another. Makes sense to be your favorite, and here would be number 5, Oh to Be Lucky. Horse absolutely loves this trip. 4 wins out of 10 starts. Just got beat 3/4 last time by hard charging Bosco's Quick at the end. I don't see anybody in here who's kind of like the specialist at this distance like he is. In the second spot, I put the 4 Storming Candy. This is a bit of a strange spot for this horse to wind up in. He's still a maiden, but the Troy Taylor outfit know exactly what they're doing. They obviously think that he has quite a bit of speed. He only had the 1 start and was beat 62 3/4 lengths.
Yeah, don't want to leave out the 3/4.
You don't want to leave out the 3/4.
Almost 63.
Almost 63. If it was 63, I might not have had him in second.
Shortening him up will be help.
But they know what they're doing. They obviously think that this is his kind of
Yeah,
trip.
of course. Yeah.
So they've put him in here. That's why I
It's a
got Storm
maiden
and Candy.
running against winners.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a bit of a funny spot, but they obviously
do this
think
very often.
that they want to run him this distance more than anything, which is why he's in here. So I put him in for second. And the third spot I put Notice Sal, another one that figures to be involved in this kind of race. One that has good speed, gets out of the gate decent, races near the front of in front of his races, even though he hasn't run at this distance before. He figures to be in the mix here. I got 5, 4, and 6.
Yeah, I've gone to Notice Sal. I like the post. I don't think
Yeah.
he's the fastest in here, but I think he will, by the time they hit the turn, he will be a major player. He'll be rolling, and I think he will out-sprint Oh to Be Lucky and Bruley Beach, the one horse, through the final quarter mile. So I had to go to the 6-horse Notice Sal, kind of a tailor-made spot for him, I think. Oh to Be Lucky, who's always as honest as they come at this trip, and the one Bruley Beach had some trouble last time. Yeah, this one even more of a little more of a value horse. The one Bruley Beach. This horse did kind of get intimidated and didn't really want to go in the hole there. There was some room, but the horse didn't get beat very far, and I just think with a little bit better break, because he did give a little crow hop leaving there. And that cost you going 3.5. So I went 6, 5, and 1. I like Notice Sal to win the third. On to the fourth race. Got some 2-year-olds here. They're not going 3.5. They are going 6 furlongs, which will be the first 2-turn race for the youngsters. And I'm going to land on the 4-horse, and all that it means out of the Craig McPherson barn, pardon me, well bred out of the mare Masquerada.
Yeah.
Just a sensational broodmare. Every
Yeah.
foal she has, whether it's been Ukashada, Oogster, Jajas, the whole Hello Frankie, Hollywood Miss is even a good 3-year-old maiden allowance winner this year.
They can all run.
She's been an excellent broodmare. And this one's got a minute and change work. Richard Hamill riding. There's a lot of positives here. 3 5/8 of a mile works. This one looks like he's been tuned up to go today's distance, and looks like he's ahead of a lot of these horses. And most of these horses only have 1 5/8. He's got like 3 of them, so I like him to win it. Put the 1-horse Deviance in for second. He's likely going to be your favorite. Comes out of a live race, which produced 2 next out winners. Why Is the Rum Gone and Lady Strike both finished off the board that day, but both came back to win, going 3.5 furlongs. But Deviance looks pretty solid as well, but likely to be your heavy favorite from the rail. And I put the 5-horse Flatter You, a filly tackling the boys out of the Forster barn. Always done very well, Dave. Buying horses out of Kentucky, and this one obviously is another one. Some very nice works, including that first 5/8 in a minute and 2/5, and so it looks like she's got some run as well. So I went 4, 1, and 5. I just like the 3 5/8 on the 4-horse, as well as the pedigree. So 4, 1, 5.
I missed the Masquerade until I sat down here right before we started taping it. And I saw Masquerade. I thought, geez, I left that one out. She has been, as you mentioned, a remarkable broodmare. I went to the 1 Deviance.
Yeah, that's logical, of course.
Yeah, he looks logical in here. I like the fact that he's had a race under his belt, too. I don't think you can ever overestimate how much that means in a 2-year-old race where one of these already had a start. And he ran a nice race to kind of come from off it. He got some good schooling in that race. I think he'll be a handful. I did put the 5 Flatter You in for second. She's a filly in here out of the Dave Forster barn, as you mentioned. I like the works. I know they're quite high on her. They think that she can run quite a bit. Every time they've worked her with somebody, they've had trouble keeping up. So I like Flatter You. And in the third spot, I put Burnaby Baron, a good friend of the show, Praven Sorensen. Source, congratulations, Praven Sorensen, on a big win last week with Franzer's Finest.
Yes.
Beating the heavily favored Devil in Disguise. Well-bred Rockport Harbor, another one out of the Keeneland sale. Been coming along well under the Phil Hall barn. I know Phil thinks quite a bit of him too. Burnaby Baron actually named after Praven's old baseball team, so a little bit of trivia for you. The Burnaby Barons. I went 1, 5, and 8 in the 2-year-old race in the 4th.
One other one to touch on in that race is the Tis a Wonderful Buzz, the Greg Tracy. This one is a brother to Dollar Waiting on a Dime, and they ended up going back to Kentucky, seeing the half-brother. They've been impressed, obviously, with Dollar Waiting on a Dime. It was a really nice horse at Greg's stable, and they went back and bought the half-brother. So that's always worth noting, and the works are very good as well. So I just want to throw that one in.
Yeah, you could make a case for a few of these in here. The Dino Condolinos one, Goliath, too. That's another one to maybe keep your eye on.
Eliodora, good family out of Real Vein. That's strong. Eliodora's in this weekend. She's won a pile of races, too. Yeah, some good, really nice 2-year-olds. Nice to see them going 6 panels.
On to the 5th, 3-year-olds and up, maiden 5. I've gone to the 3, Barclay Bay. Kind of fell apart in his last one, but there is not a whole lot of competition in this race.
Soft 5.
I think the distance will suit him well. Jim Brown's barn's starting to heat up, as is Scott Williams. had trouble kind of picking horses in this race, but I think Barclay Bay can get the job done. The next one I went to was General Question, the 2-horse out of the Cindy Krasner barn. Another one that I think has some breeding behind it, that it wouldn't mind the distance. The way he's running too, maybe a little bit of distance would help. And the third spot I put Extra Moon out of the Mel Snow barn. Another one, Antonio Reyes takes over for Marlo Dunn. Maybe a little bit stronger rider. Mel saw something in there that maybe Marlo was just kind of struggling with the horse. And he's ran into some tough horses with Where's Henry and What a Sense of Humor.
Yeah.
2 runoff winners in both of those maiden races. Where's Henry won by almost 10, and he only got beat by 11. So I got Extra Moon in for third. I went 3, 2, and 4 in a race that had me puzzled.
Well, the 3 horses, your horse to beat. I think definitely you got it nailed. Barclay Bay had lots of trouble. This was 4 wide early. Checked at the quarter pole. This horse had a lot going on in that race. That's why he finished 7th, beaten 9. There was some issues with the trip. He kind of got the main negative happened at the far turn, or on the final turn. This horse got squeezed out badly by a horse that went by him, and he ran into a tiring horse and stopped and cold, and it was pretty much game over from there. So throw the race out. This horse is better than that. Run well, should run well on the stretch out. I agree with General Question for second. This horse, running better than anyone else. The balance of the field. This horse was sitting at a good trip. Drifted out for some reason, 7 or 8 wide, turning for home. Kind of did it on its own, but still, there's some good pedigree there, and I think the distance will suit him to a T. And I put the 7-horse Golden Flash, just a big fat maiden that's had a pile of starts, but someone's got to run third, and I'm going to put this. I like 3 and 2 though. Those are your horses, 3, 2, and anything. But I went 3, 2, and 7.
3, 2, and all button.
Yeah. In the 6th race, that'll be our next one we'll cover. It's $10,000 3-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs. Kicks off your late double. I've gone to the 6-horse here. We Can Be Heroes. Tried to chase a very good After the Conflict last time, and paid the price, and ended up tiring badly to run 4th. But that was for 2 bits. Drops down here for 10. They buy the weight. Richard Hamill will take over, and I just think this horse is in a pretty live spot. We Can Be Heroes. I put the 7-horse Scott Heem, who's your logical horse. He keeps winning at this level, and I just think this particular 10 has come up tougher than the last one he won, defeating After Court and Scamming. Got We Can Be Heroes, Michael's Glory coming down from 25. So I just think there are others to look at. Gotheem is a good pick, but still just a horse I'm going to leave in the 2nd spot. And I put the 3, Michael's Glory, in for 3rd. Broke its maiden for 10 off the claim, won very easily that day. They thought enough of him to step him up for $25,000, and he gave a decent account of himself. He couldn't quite get the lead. They went pretty fast. Weather Bill's a pretty nice horse, and just was a little too much for him. So I'm going to go 6, 7, and 3, but not a race I fell in love with. 6, 7, 3 for me.
I went with the 7 because I like the time off. He was kind of, he was all out to win the last 10. But Stevie Henson's given him a nice breather since then. It's going to be about a month in between races. Had a decent work, a 101 and 4, which is just right to kind of keep him on his fitness edge. And I like the fact that he's had a rest. That made me lean to this horse. I got him on top. We Can Be Heroes, obviously. Those are the 2 tough ones I really see in here. We Can Be Heroes and Got Him. I think it's between those 2. And the 3rd spot I put After Court, a horse that just won this race, this 10. But that was a 10 that was without Gotheem and was without We Can Be Heroes.
Ludwig broke bad. The race was really hurt by the fractions, and the horse got to sit a very easy 3rd without even having to use horse.
And ran down Serendipity Grove. Ran down Serendipity Grove late, but I see this 10 being much different. I think it's 6, 7 all the way. I got 7, 6, and 4 in the 6th race. On to the nightcap, the 7th. Nice little race here. Going 1 mile and 1/8, something you don't see around here a whole lot, especially for $7,500 horses. And I have gone to the 3 Iskar of the Dino Conolinos barn. Iskar's had some troubled trips of late. He just always seems like, if he had a break or 2 go his way, he could have won a couple of his last. And Dino Conolinos moves to Aaron Grider. I think with a good trip, Iskar can improve, and I think he can win this. Texas Buccaneer I have in 2nd, who's a bit of a question mark. He was pulled up in a race by Fernando Perez, and it looked like a saddle slipped or something like that. And Perez got off and said, there was actually nothing wrong with him. He felt funny, so he pulled him up. Came back and was scratched on post parade. So there's definitely question marks about Texas Buccaneer. But if all systems go, Frank Fuentes picks up the call. He's definitely proven to be a good horse at this level, at this distance. He was heavily involved in the Marathon Series last year, winning 2 out of the 3 that he ran in. And in third spot, I put probably going to be your favorite, Sufi Dancer, who took a drop down to the 5 non-winners of the year, going long last time, and absolutely demolished a field there, running off by 5, and on a Friday night too. So maybe he likes to run on the lights.
Loves the night cards.
Loves the night cards.
A lot of horses like it. A little cooler temperatures. Track's
true.
way tighter.
Yeah.
The track is way tighter at night.
That's true. It's a different,
you know, a lot
different
looser,
surface.
Looser on Saturdays and Sundays, and this horse just might relish that.
He might like that. So I got 3, 4, and 7, but I like all 3 of them.
Yeah, I went to the 7, Sufi Dancer. I think this horse gets a good trip from an outside draw. Might have to work a little bit for the lead, but he doesn't need the lead to win it. But I'm pretty impressed with the fast fractions he set last time. This horse was doing it easy and drew away. This horse is in top form right now, and when this horse is in top form, he's dangerous at the 7,500 level.
Especially also going a mile and 1/8, he gets the weight break too, which is a nice little bonus when you're going this far.
But Sufi Dancer for me. I put the 3-horse Ishkar in for second. He did defeat Sufi Dancer 2 starts back, but I thought Sufi Dancer had kind of a rough trip that day. But still, Ishkar is a horse that's live in this spot, gets there and Grider. And I put the 1. That's kind of my roughie in here. The 1-horse Safe Fabulous. This horse sprinted last time. He's not a sprinter at all. His best races are going long. This horse has run some fast fractions in the past and run on. He's a cool horse. You know, Pedro rode a lot of good races on this horse, and he won some races he even didn't win, and he'd go 46 and change for the opening half of a mile and 3/16 or a mile and 3/8 race. He'd still be there at the end.
Still
he'd just get run by a good horse like Finally Cruising or whoever. But he'd still be fighting, lose by 2 lengths. He's a cool horse that has some distance ability, and I just think he may get overlooked at the windows.
And he's going to have a price under him,
Yeah, the price will be right on Safe Fabulous. So I went 7, 3, and 1. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Friday night, June 21st program at beautiful Hastings Racecourse. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of our selections. And here, start off with me. Back in race number 1, I went to the 5-horse Cassidy Storm, speedy little gal. I went 5, 6, and 1. Race number 2, I went to the 3, Title Nobility. Just won at this level. We'll see if we can do it again. 3, 4, and 1. Kind of a short price double. But third race, number 6, Notice Sal. Shortening up to 3.5. I went 6, 5, and 1. And race number 4, I went to the 4. And all that it means over the 1 Deviance and the 5 Flatter You. But a good 2-year-old race, that is. The 5th race, I went to the 3, Barclay Bay. 3, 2, and 7. Race number 6, I went to the 6, Weekend Be Heroes. 6, 7, and 3. And in the 7th, let's go to the 7th. Sufi Dancer, 7, 3, and 1.
And on to my selections. There we go in the first. I agree with Mike on number 5, Cassidy Storm, over the 6 and the 1. In the second, I agree with Mike on the double. Number 3, Titled Nobility, over the 1 and the 4. In the third, I went to number 5, Oh to Be Lucky, over the 4 and the 6. In the fourth, I went to Deviance, the number 1, over Flatter You, and Burnaby Baron. As Mike mentioned, a very nice, probably almost a feature for me on Friday night is this 2-year-old race. It'll be really interesting to watch this race. In the fifth, I went to number 3, Barclay Bay, over the 2 and the 4. In the sixth, I went to number 7, Got Heem, over the 6 and the 4. And in the nightcap, the 7th, I went to number 3, Iskar, over the 4 and the 7.
All right, that'll do it for the Friday edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully we've given you some insight into the Friday night program. Don't forget, it starts at 7:15. We also race on Saturday and Sunday. We have 7 races on the Saturday, starting at 1:50, and of course on the Sunday, 8 races once again underway at 1:50 first post. On behalf of Drew, thanks for tuning in to Handicappers Corner. We'll see you next time.
I got the horse right here. The name is Paul Revere, and here's